So Monica, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Do you have any goals that you're setting now to get somewhere?
Definitely. My goals are to keep growing. Wherever I'm led, I follow. I follow my gut feeling, and it just takes me to wherever I'm meant to go. But for me, it's about reaching more and more people. And my goal is to reach internationally. Because for me, I'm Lebanese. I lived in Dubai, I lived in many countries, and I have friends around the world. And I think this is a movement that needs to spread around the world.
What other countries?
I lived in Cyprus, I lived in London.
Wow.
I lived in Dubai, I lived in Lebanon, I've lived in Canada, so yeah.
And you've been coaching people internationally as well.
I coach
Yes.
internationally, yes. Because I think it's important, especially in cultures like mine, where people are closed off. They live for what others want them to be. They live what they're supposed to be, they're expected to be this. And I was one of those people. And it took a lot for me to come out of that limiting beliefs that we're brought up with that don't serve us.
Mm-hmm. Very important message.
Very important. And we teach our kids, and it goes through generations.
Mm-hmm.
And also with children that are different, like kids with ADHD, they're told that there's something wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, kids with ADHD are kids who just think outside of the box. So if we can just teach, if we learn how to become better, more open, we can help our children become more open and more see their gifts. So yeah, I want to reach a lot more people. I do. I want to reach more people. The more I can reach people to help and give them the message where they can help others, then that's my mission in life, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I hadn't planned to ask you this, but since you talked about it, you talked about doing international coaching, I guess through Skype or
Yes.
online video.
Yeah.
And also you talked about something that I imagine a lot of people who are watching this are going to think, well, she's talking about kids with ADHD, and yes, I can totally relate
Oh,
to.
yes.
I can totally
This
relate
is
to this
something I'm very
feeling.
passionate about.
Yeah, so a lot of parents, or maybe even teachers or whoever who
Educators.
supports kids with ADHD might be thinking, finally, there's some kind of support and recognition, and here locally in Montreal. So can you tell us just a little bit more about
Yes, of course.
what happens at this support group and what do you do? Not whether through the support group or even through your coaching
Okay,
in that
so
context.
The support group I started when I first moved to Canada 4 years ago. There was a lady in Dubai who started it, and I didn't know anything about ADHD at the time. My older son had ADHD, and I was lost. I was like, this is terrible. He's driving me insane. I didn't know what to do. So again, I Googled at the time, and I wrote
Our friend, yeah.
ADHD Support Group Dubai, and it turned up. So I went, and it was this British lady who started it for her kid. And she would bring guest speakers every month.
Cool.
And I would go, and I would like, wow, interesting. And then with all this interesting stuff, I realized I had ADHD, and I was like, okay. So when I came to Canada, I was like, I need to do this. I have to find something. There must be this support. I didn't find it. So I said, I'm going to create it. And I started it slowly on Facebook as a closed group. And then I started realizing that, people need this. And it grew to international now. And what changed is a book that I read called The Gift of Imperfection. And it said about vulnerability. And this was something I was not brought up to believe. You are not supposed to tell people your story, your issues. You keep things to yourself. So that book changed my life. It made me become vulnerable. And I decided to start writing about my struggles with my children with ADHD. And from then, parents started seeing, wow, she suffers like we do.
Yeah.
And my group started to grow. That's key. What we have, what we struggle with, when we share it, it helps so many people.
Yeah.
And my group started, and it's growing, and I have monthly meetings, and now the CLSC sent people to me.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. And what I do, I don't help the child. I don't think I am meant to help the child. I am meant, I love kids, but for me, if you help the parent, you help the child. Because the parent needs to grow as for herself. And I was that parent. With my older son, I was living unconsciously. So now I live more aware. So I'm a different parent to my twins. So it's all about helping the parent see the greatness in their kid and helping them guide that child to the right resources and the right people and see their gifts. And instead of fitting them into this box that says they need to be good in math and science and thing, they might be artistic, they might be something else. And like Michael Phelps, who has ADHD, work on his swimming, or Adam Levine, who is a singer.
Yeah.
See their gifts. That's what I want. I want parents to see the gifts in their children. That's key to me. Gifts in everybody. They're real, authentic people. Okay? That's what I want in life.
But you know, you hit a strong nerve when you talk about how we look at, or well, you didn't quite say this, but you know, when we have certain expectations of our kids, we're looking at other families and we're looking at other children and we're comparing all the time. And oh, they're sitting quietly in a restaurant and not like jumping on the tables or whatever.
Good point.
Oh, maybe I should be disciplining my child so that
I'm
they
a
do the
terrible
same.
mother. I'm the worst mother in the world.
Right.
How I can't get my kid to sit still. So imagine all this guilt that this parent feels.
Negative talk.
Yeah.
That's why this support helps parents have other women or other men who get them. Because not everybody understands ADHD. And what I want to get through to people is that ADHD is just another way of saying our kids are different, but in a good way.
So how can people find this group, this particular group?
This particular group is on Facebook. It's called ADHD Support Group for Parents, West Island. And it's a closed group, so whatever you say in there, no judgment. And any questions you want to ask, you can ask. You've got specialists in there, parents, everything. It's just a place to talk. And I do monthly meetings. So our next one is on the 28th at SNAP. So you can find out more on the Facebook page or on my website.
Great.
So Monica, as you help your clients grow, they must challenge you to grow yourself. So, you know, it's that ongoing process. Do you find you've grown through your clients?
Definitely. Sometimes my clients give me the message. While I'm helping them, I'm actually helping myself sometimes.
It's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Really, the messages, sometimes I'm like, I'm telling them that? Why am I not using it myself? Always.
Good.
And it's always through them that the messages come through to me. And we're all connected.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
The best thing that, for me, the most exciting stuff is that there's no coincidences in life. The people that come to your life are meant to be on your path. The people you bump into are meant to be on your path. The places you go are meant. Everything is meant. There is nothing that we don't, oh no, I wish I had done this 10 years ago. You weren't meant to do this 10 years ago. You were meant to go through everything that you're meant to go through to get to where you are. There's no accidents in anything, you know? It's all meant at the right time.
Okay, so for anyone who's watching this right now and who feels like they're stuck in a rut, in monotony, or they feel like, you know, they're not really living with purpose and they're not living with passion, what advice would you have to give to someone who's going through that right now?
The best thing they can do is just stay still and just ask for guidance. That quiet, that walk, that space that they have, just be quiet for a little bit and listen. Stop being so busy doing and just be still. And you will get the messages that you need. You might be watching this and, oh my God, that's what I need. You might be watching a Facebook post or anything. The message will come, but the problem is if you're not quiet, you can't hear it. So you just be still and let your gut, the universe give you the next stage that you have to follow. And then you could read my blogs also, which is a good idea. So you could go to monicakaram.com and you can see my different journeys and what I learned there, because I've been through the stuck, through the not knowing what to do next. And I kind of write it in step form exactly as I learned it, so it might help you.
Yes, actually, I've read a lot of your blog articles, and that's the nice thing about them. They're in point form.
Point form.
They you share lots of tips and very quick, short tidbits so that you can process or assimilate it bit by bit. Whatever you're ready to hear or to process at that moment. And it reminds me a bit about what you said about being still. It reminds me of this Steven Spielberg clip that I've seen on Facebook. Actually,
yes.
I think I've shared too, and you may
Yes,
have shared
I
at one
love
point.
that.
That's my favorite, where he talks about intuition and how intuition whispers. It doesn't yell. It doesn't scream.
It doesn't.
And
Good point.
and that when we're still and when we can just when we're still and we allow ourselves to be in a creative process, we can hear that intuition.
We don't
in the
hear it.
whispers.
We're so busy getting to the next thing that we can do. That what the whole point of meditation, prayer, even for me, sitting still is difficult for a person who has ADHD.
Which is funny to hear you give that as advice, but it's so true.
I
though.
do sit still
Yeah.
now, but the
Yes.
thing is, you can meditate, you can walk in a park
Yeah.
and get the messages. As long as your brain, you need to switch this off a bit and keep this going, because this is where the answers come from. It's your map. And it's led me to some amazing places. I just follow my gut. If it says call Enzo, I'll call Enzo. I don't know why I'm calling Enzo, but I'm going to call Enzo, because that voice is the one that's guiding us and telling us where we need to go next. So just be still, or even move, but don't be busying your brain so that you can't hear the sound of what your intuition.
We covered your website, you mentioned your website, and your Facebook group. Is there a second Facebook group? In other words, how can people reach you? Do you have an email?
Okay,
Do you
so
wanna
you
share?
can go to my website, as I said, monicakaram.com. My blogs, my testimonials, everything I do is on there.
Okay.
I also run on Facebook a very inspirational website, a Facebook page, which I love. It's called Joy Inspirations, and it's all about personal growth. Basically, everything that I learned, I share on that, and I share videos, inspirational videos, everything. So that's that. Yeah.
Monica, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. It's
Thank
been
you,
a
guys.
slice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Isabelle as
It's
well,
been
thank you
fun.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
guys.
maybe we'll catch up down the road, who knows?
Definitely.
To
And maybe if I
update
am
everyone.
on Oprah one day,
Update on the book
you can
first.
show me this tape and say,
Yeah.
you said you were going to be on Oprah.
Well, you'll have to invite us too,
I will
so
definitely.
Yes,
to
get us
cheer you
tickets.
on.
Thanks
Thanks
so
again.
much. Thanks.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.